through the power of filmmaking, I have a kind of lukewarm cup of tea because I spent so long setting up this shot. Hello, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is a bit of a ragtag kind of setup. I got my phone on charge because I have 3% battery and I'm currently recording the audio onto my phone, but it's plugged into my MacBook, which is now not plugged into power, because I've got a video that I'm editing off of one of the hard drives, and there's a lot going on right now, and also the lights keep flickering, so I had to turn the big light off, and I don't have any little lights at the moment, so the outside lights are on, lighting the current scene. So again, it's all happening. Unrelated to the topic of today's video, but these are my absolute favorite mugs. They are from, where the hell are they from? Maho. They're from Maho. They're really good. I love the amber look to them. They're really light, but they're really sturdy glass, and they keep the heat really well. So, would highly recommend. Not sponsored. So to be completely and truly honest, this past week was very slow in terms of me filming. I didn't really get up to too much. I didn't really have too many opportunities to film. Spent a lot of time in the office. Not a lot of it was particularly interesting work. And I find that a little bit of a cop-out because the whole point in me starting to do this was to appreciate the small moments, and there's this running motif that I'm slowing down, which feels a little bit like a fake persona at the moment because I am not appreciating the slow moments, and it's really just bugging me out a little bit. The fact that I can't seem to get back into the rhythm of things. There's a few things going on outside of the work sphere and the creative sphere, one of which is that Bet's car absolutely just killed itself on the roads. So between the two of us, we've only got one car at the moment, which is quite an inconvenient thing to have to deal with, but we're making it work the best that we can. That is impacting my ability to stay within routine, and I think that's sort of transferring over into the creative side. I'm not really remembering to bring my camera along with me. I'm not really remembering to just capture moments, and I wanted to just kind of riff off the top of my head about this. The whole point of me starting this project, is what I'm going to call it, was that I wanted to be, like I said, capturing small moments, the really minute moments throughout the day that you would kind of look past, but it's a way for me to teach myself to be more present, and to appreciate the quiet moments throughout the week rather than focusing only on like the big wins and the big moments that happen that are quite memorable. It's one of the things that I wanted to get across creatively with starting this project and starting to upload videos again after so long. I didn't have a creative outlet for quite some time, and this was meant to be that. On this pursuit of creativity, I found myself letting it slip a little bit, not capturing certain moments because I don't think they're particularly too interesting, forgetting to just take the camera about with me, which was kind of the rule that I set at the start of all of this, is that it needed to be attached at the hip. I think I set this completely unrealistic expectation that I need every single moment to be interesting. I don't think it's a problem with the moments not being interesting. A lot of content on the internet is not particularly interesting. What I think it is just a perspective shift. In a realistic world, the home cafe that I built a couple of weeks ago for Beth's birthday is not something that would traditionally be very interesting. You wouldn't want to make any content. I mean, that's not true necessarily, but traditionally speaking, if you're going to invite people over to your house, to strip it down to its absolute basics, if you invite people to your house for coffee and a couple of nibbles, that's not something that you would traditionally whip out a camera and start filming, but you frame it in a different perspective and it becomes this event. And I think that's the problem that I need to sort of get out of, is that mindset shifting back to what it was before I was making videos again, where everything was just kind of a mundane thing that wasn't worthy of my filming. And that's really silly, because I think as I've grown older, a lot of the moments that I really appreciate are those slow moments. Hence why I have made a whole video about eating food last week. That's not really an interesting video, but it's interesting to me. And like this week, like I've not got a particularly grand amount of footage throughout the week. There's just a lot of small moments that I've kind of remembered to pick up the camera for, but there's nothing too interesting or intense that's going on. But that's kind of the point. And I need to just remind myself that that is the whole point of me doing this. The start of this video was literally just me making a cup of tea. It's not really something that's interesting. I do it most weeks, but I guess framing it differently and making it interesting to look at and trying to tell some sort of story. Even if it's just me want tea get made, tea in belly, yes, tasty. Even if that is the story, like, I guess just the perspective shift from I feel like a cup of tea, I'm gonna make a cup of tea, to how can I show the process of making the cup of tea. That's, I guess, kind of what I need to lean into more so than anything else. I don't know, I think we kind of just ebb and flow in this whole creative journey, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. I just need to remind myself that, again, that is kind of the whole point, like, is to just, it's an expression. And I guess my current expression is just that there's not a lot of inspiration going on, so there's going to be a lot more slow, mundane moments, but that's just the way it is, and that's just the name of the game, I guess. There's not really too much to it. I don't want to keep repeating myself like I did last week. I guess what I'm learning from this is just to change my perspective. It's not that deep. There's going to be weeks where I'm not feeling creatively fulfilled. There's going to be weeks where I'm not feeling particularly interesting, but if I just keep going like I'm going, then I think it will be fine. This isn't meant to be existential at all. This is just a little chat. This is just a bit of a rant. I'm sorry that this was just a bit of a random video. Love you long time. I'm gonna finish this cup of tea now, because it's gonna start going cold soon. But thank you so much for watching. Wait, you're the microphone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon. Love you, bye.